All right, 7:20, and let's bring on Nick Childress from Private Gym Training. Get Fit with Nick. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, guys. Another snowy day.
Yeah, every Wednesday you come over here and it snows.
Apparently, yeah.
Hey, you want to change your day or something?
I don't know, man. If it's going to snow any day I'm here, I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I suppose that then. Nick joins us, of course, every Wednesday around 7:20 to talk about one-on-one private gym training, too. We've been talking, of course, about the aspect of the body itself, the food that it needs, the fuel that it burns, and so forth, in addition to a workout that is custom tailored for the individual for the one-on-one training, too. What you got this morning?
Well, today I want to talk about, again, one of the other external issues that we have with weight loss, one of the reasons that we're overweight. And it's because we're just surrounded by food. Mm-hmm. It really is a food culture. Mm-hmm. And when you drive to work, you may pass dozens of restaurants. Those golden arches are massive. And what happens is your brain is replaying memories that you've had at those places. So if you've had a Whopper and you pass a Burger King, your brain remembers that. You have a good association with that. And, of course, if you have a negative association with that, every time you see something, generally that's reinforced as well. But most people have good associations with restaurants. Mm-hmm. And constantly passing that is a constant temptation. Your brain knows that that's a good thing. And it gets even worse when we talk about advertising, when you see billboards or TV commercials, if you see a picture of something like a chicken biscuit or something, mm-hmm. your brain is automatically analyzing the texture of the biscuit to see how flaky it is, how soft it is.
Oh my goodness.
You can maybe be able to tell the temperature of it, crispness of bacon.
Stay away from Instagram.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So those sorts of things completely manipulate you on a subconscious level. You almost can't avoid your brain doing that because your brain has to recognize mm-hmm. it before you and go through that process before you can even decide that you don't want to pay attention to it. Mm-hmm. It's very obvious when you look at television advertising how emotionally manipulative it is because it's bringing up sense memory. Mm-hmm. You hear the sizzle of a steak. You see people laughing around a table. Again, the texture of the food and how things are lit. They pay thousands of dollars to have these things photographed and videoed correctly. They have mm-hmm. people paint the food to make it look right. Mm-hmm. They have fake food brought in. Sometimes it's 10 times the size of the actual product so mm-hmm. that they can get a good picture of it. Mm-hmm. The way this stuff is built up is to completely manipulate your responses. And if you think that you're immune to it, you're not.
Well, I'll give you an example. Last Thursday, I guess it was, I was watching NCAA basketball coverage, mm-hmm. and they just kept playing one of the very popular pizza places, mm-hmm. and it just hit my mind. I'm like, boy, wouldn't that be good? So that's a perfect example.
Eventually it seeps in. I have an acquaintance who did fitness for several years and then took a job as a merchandiser, and she's stacking chips and cookies all day.
Wow.
After about a year, she never ate this stuff before. Mm-hmm. She bought some. Mm-hmm. And then after another year or two, she kind of buys it a little bit regularly because she is handling that day after day. Every mm-hmm. time she picks up a product, and even if you don't know what a product tastes like, your brain kicks into curiosity mode. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, what does this lime-flavored chip taste like versus the original? And
mm-hmm. It must be good because they're advertising it.
Right, yeah.
Quote, quote.
Yeah, now, and then imagine picking the product and having to hold cookies in your hand 3-4 hours a day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard to say no to. Yeah. And that's why I suggest to anybody who's seriously trying to lose weight, if you're in the restaurant industry, if you're around food for your job, mm-hmm. switch jobs. I mean, it's that important. Yeah. If it's that important to you to lose weight, I would make that suggestion because it is a constant drive.
Mm-hmm. I have a corollary to that, too, and that is don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree. It's a big tip. Eat lunch or something before you go mm-hmm. and make a list and stick to it. Mm-hmm. Don't impulse buy because there's always going to be you just have to assume you're always going to pass by something that looks good, is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm. And you just have to learn to ignore it.
Yeah.
And just stick to the plan.
If you're serious about losing weight, like you said.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, the ultimately the biggest muscle in our body is the one that makes the decisions, and that's the brain.
Yeah, and this goes beyond just is it a temptation, because food is a physical addiction. I mean, of course, we're all going to die if we don't eat, but carbohydrates give you energy. Mm-hmm. It's like being charged into a little USB port. Like it makes you feel better every time you eat carbs, and there's all kinds of chemical responses that actually hit pleasure receptors in the brain. Yeah. I mean, it is an addictive process for everybody. How strong it is with some people, or what else is going on in their life and that sort of thing will make a difference. But it's not just, I'm bored, I want to taste something good. It goes way beyond that. Yeah. And I have a couple of tips for people to try and avoid this food culture. The first is ignore it. Like if you've been at work with somebody that you didn't get along with and you guys pass in the hall and you just both of you just look right past each other and just focus on where you're going like you're not even there. You got to do that with these signages and restaurants, billboards and stuff. Like it's there, your peripheral sees it, just don't look at it, just focus on what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And another tip is, this will probably be a little bit more controversial and extreme, and the reason is because you're constantly surrounded by this. You need an extreme way to counter it. You have to counter this kind of emotionally manipulative programming that you're surrounded by. So, in a calmer moment, you probably wouldn't agree with some of these, but corporations, they're selling you a product the same way somebody's selling heroin or cigarettes. Your body is addicted to the feel goods that come out of certain foods, the fats and the sweet sugars and that sort of thing. And you have to combat that. And one way you can say that is, if you're serious about weight loss, is when you're presented with something like that, immediately counter it with saying something like, "That's what fat people eat," or thin people don't eat that, or fat people go to that restaurant, that pizza place or something like that. And like I said, that can be a little bit extreme, because obviously anybody can go there, and even on a balanced diet, you can go to places like that occasionally. But you have to start programming now. Are you really going to stay at a weight that you're not happy with because somebody wants to pay their shareholders an extra 2%? I mean, that's what they're doing. They're basically drug pushers to some degree.
Yeah. Nick Childress joins us every Wednesday to talk about ways to keep ourselves healthy. Stay fit with Nick. Wonderful gym training, private gym training, and there are a lot of good ways to get in touch with you, Nick. What are they?
Yeah, it's privategymtraining.com or 430-8089. That's 430-8089. And if you're looking for one-on-one training in a completely private environment, no distractions, no self-consciousness, then definitely give me a call, and I'll get you on the path to losing weight.
Great. Nick Childress, thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.